The cycle of belief. Beliefs, emotions, actions, results. Now that you've identified a limiting belief, let's explore how it actually shapes your life. Every belief sets off a chain reaction. Think of it like a cycle. 1. You hold a belief. For example, I'm not good with money. 2. That belief creates emotions, fear, insecurity, doubt. 3. Those emotions drive your actions. You avoid opportunities. You procrastinate. You play small. 4. And those actions create results. Little or no progress, missed chances, financial stress. Now here's the tricky part. Those poor results seem to prove the original belief. You say, "See, I knew I wasn't good with money." And the cycle repeats itself, again and again. This is how people stay stuck in the same patterns for years. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack opportunity, but because they've never challenged the beliefs at the root of the cycle. And until you break that cycle, no amount of budgeting apps, financial hacks, or external advice will work. Because the story running in the background will always sabotage the front stage of your life. Case study: How beliefs block opportunity. Let me introduce you to Sarah. Sarah grew up in a home where money was rarely discussed openly, except when it caused stress. Her parents often said things like, "Money is complicated, don't mess with it, just work hard and play it safe." So Sarah carried that belief into adulthood. Money is too complex for me, I shouldn't get involved. Now here's what happened. Sarah's friends invited her to a free seminar on investing. She ignored it. Later, a colleague offered to mentor her about real estate. She froze, telling herself, "That's not for people like me." Years went by, and while her friends slowly built savings and assets, Sarah stayed in survival mode, paycheck to paycheck. Never because she wasn't capable, but because her belief told her it was safer to avoid than to engage. Her story became her prison. And here's the sad truth. There are millions of Sarahs out there. Intelligent, hard-working people stuck in financial struggle, not because they can't do better, but because they've been carrying a belief that whispers, "This isn't for you." Now let me ask you, have you ever done this? Have you ever talked yourself out of an opportunity, not because you weren't capable, but because your inner story said no? If so, you know exactly how powerful limiting beliefs can be. Breaking the cycle. Awareness creates choice. Now let's turn this into action. Go back to the belief you circled earlier, the one that feels most true for you. Hold it in your mind for a moment. Now, ask yourself 2 powerful questions. 1. How has this belief shaped my actions? Think about decisions you avoided, risks you didn't take, or chances you let pass by. 2. How has this belief limited my opportunities? What doors stayed closed, not because they weren't open, but because you never walked through them? Take your workbook and write your answers down. Be honest. Be specific. This part might feel uncomfortable. That's okay. Growth often begins in discomfort. Because once you see the impact clearly, something powerful happens. You realize the belief is not a universal truth. It's just a story you've been repeating. And stories can be rewritten. This exercise is your key to breaking the cycle. Awareness gives you choice. Choice gives you power. And power allows you to rewrite your financial destiny.